I shaved my head bald. You're talking to the man himself that literally shaved his head bald. Now you're probably asking, wondering, Kevin, why are you shaving your head bald? Why did you shave your head bald? Like literally, you, if for those of you who have already seen, have been so worried and paranoid about hair loss and the progression of, you know, hair loss, and worried about like the very minor hair thinning that I had on my head. So why did you do the very thing that you were worried about, right, from the get-go? Like, why did you do that very thing that you have been trying to avoid? The truth is when I hopped on Finasteride, you know, Finasteride, Propecia, whatever you want to call it, it is a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, which inhibits the type 2 enzyme, and it pretty much inhibits 70% of your DHT production, which comes and is derived from testosterone. And that's the whole reason why a lot of people experience hair loss and hair thinning to begin with. Long story to make it short, I've been on it for a month now, about a month and 2 days to be exact now. And I'll show you guys pictures and images, and I was just losing my mind. I was literally losing my mind, dude. I was looking at my hair, and of course, in a lot of cases, most cases as a matter of fact, especially if the drug's in effect and becoming worth it for you to take and more effective, because it's like, well, like the images I'm showing you, it's worse than it was before you started fucking taking it. And that's normal, because essentially what it's doing is pushing out the weak, tiny, miniaturized hairs that you have, and, you know, trying to regrow the hairs to newer, thicker, stronger, fuller looking hairs. The problem is everywhere I was at, I was so insecure. I'm looking at myself, and if I'm in dark, like harsh downlighting, I'm fucking insecure. I'm like worried, oh my God, like, you know, like I'm going like this, I'm like covering it, like, you know, and never in my life have I experienced something like that. And it was very bothersome for me. Like it was actually quite annoying, because like, especially in down harsh lighting, I mean, bro, that's where I want to be, because I get to like flex my aesthetics and show my physique, you know, like any fitness guru here would know exactly what I'm talking about, that makes your physique look more sick. But in my case, it made me look like I was balding severely, right? By the time my hair grows back to the length that you guys saw it at and what it was at, my hair is going to be looking not only significantly improved, it's going to be significantly healthier, because it's completely new hairs you've grown in, and, you know, just pretty much erasing any previous damage from the hairs that I put it through or whatever, stress. And it's going to be past that shedding phase that you go through initially when starting Finasteride. For the most part, that's what it was. And I wanted to shave it completely bald to see, as it's growing in as it is now, exactly where the issue is. What's really going on? Am I having bald spots? Is it just thinning areas? Is there other areas that I don't know about because I can't see because I had such long hair? From what I can see right now, as it's at an appropriate length for me to really indicate here what's going on, this right here, I don't want anyone to get a misconception. That's like a bald patch. I've always had that all my life, so that's not really something that just fucking occurred from like androgenic alopecia, hair loss. I've always had that. But as you can see in the frontal area, yeah, you probably can't even really see that much, actually, to be honest. It looks like it's almost getting a little bit better, but that could be placebo as well. Right here, it looks a little lighter, and right here, you can see kind of like, it looks thinner. Actually, let me just show you like this. No, you can't even see. Maybe if I turn off the light, maybe you could see a little better. Yeah, a little bit better. If you can't see, then maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just tripping here, but you can't see, maybe, I can't even see. I don't know, man. I don't even know. But in this area, there's miniaturized hairs. Thankfully, the hairs are still there, but they are thinner. And especially in spots where they're really light in that area, you could see the root of the follicle, but they're literally half the length and width of like the original hairs. So the good thing is that, look, I caught it extremely early. And if you can catch it early, you can pretty much revive and save most of those hairs. In my case, probably 97% of the hairs, realistically speaking here. And yeah, so I just wanted to make this video, and I want to make this series because I want to motivate and inspire and help other people out there who are experiencing similar things, because as men, you know, even some women experience this, to be honest with you. it's really a confidence crusher. You know, when you're losing your hair. Hair for me was everything. It is everything. And maybe that's not really a healthy mindset to have. You know, there's probably some people that are going to be in the comments like, bro, like, there's more to life than just having a head of hair. And yeah, of course there is. But I guess, like, in life, and this comes with anything, it could be, like, cosmetically, it could be anything. You are inevitably always going to take things for granted that you otherwise would absolutely miss dreadfully if it otherwise wasn't there. I just want to show you guys the things that I'm implementing every single day to not only keep my hair healthy, regrow it thicker and fuller than it ever has been, and to prevent further loss and miniaturization for as long as I possibly can, you know? Yeah, so starting out here, we're gonna start from least effective to most effective. So the first thing I do and take every single day, it's something very minor. You'll hear everybody say, I take biotin, just a simple biotin product, nothing crazy. You know, it's nothing insane. I take like 2 little gummies. You could get pills, gummies, doesn't really matter. I take that every day. That's just, I don't know, man, that nothing crazy, but it doesn't hurt, you know what I'm saying? Then the next thing I take is minoxidil, twice per day, once in the morning and once at night. I use the minoxidil by Intelligent. Shout out to them for sending me this as well, giving me an extra supply of minoxidil. And actually, if you guys want to get some minoxidil from Intelligent, link down below, intelligent.shop, use code DIAZ for 10% off. I'm telling you, comes in clutch. And I'm not gonna lie, the way they have their minoxidil distributed, I like it very much because the little tube that you administer the minoxidil in, it doesn't like leak out and pour out once you like scoop up the minoxidil like other ones do that I've used personally. Like it just stays there until you actually use the droplet, which comes in handy because I don't want to go like this and then kind of like do it fast because it's dropping out, you know? So that's one thing. Then microneedling. Now this, in terms of effectiveness, this kind of goes hand in hand with minoxidil, just because of the fact that the reason I do microneedling in my scalp once per week is because, as you guys could see right here, look at that, you guys see these needles popping out right here? I put it onto 1.5 millimeters. That's the most and longest you want to put the needles in your fucking scalp, because essentially what that does is it kind of makes little micro punctures in your scalp, especially in the areas that you want to like kind of regrow and enhance in terms of like follicle health and follicle growth. Is what it does is it administers more blood flow into the area, which is good. And also, simultaneously, you're getting deeper into the root near the follicle. So when you apply topical minoxidil, it can get absorbed, you know, a lot easier. So that's why I personally do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it any more than once a week. I've been doing it for a couple months now, honestly speaking here. So I think it's kind of like a pick your poison kind of thing. There's nothing wrong. It's not like dangerous per se to do this. Now, would I say in terms of a protocol to microneedle your scalp and fucking pinch your head like every single week for the rest of your life? No, there's probably some long-term negative effects doing that, but as like a temporary thing and then giving yourself a decently solid break for a while, maybe a couple weeks, maybe 2-3 months, whatever, that's fine. But as like an extra like a little like fucking push in the cannon, I'd say it does come in handy. So once I see the growth I'm really satisfied with and getting the thickening in the miniaturized areas near the temple over here, I'm probably going to stop doing this, and I'll probably do it once every month or once every 2 months or every month and a half, something like that, you know, just for the fuck of it, but nothing crazy, you know. I use ketoconazole shampoo, and I also use their conditioner by Intelligent here. Guys, this shampoo contains ketoconazole, and essentially what ketoconazole is a DHT blocking agent. Now, the good thing about the ketoconazole shampoo is that it actually only blocks DHT locally. So obviously you're using shampoos and conditioners in the fucking shower, nowhere else, you know? So when you're applying this on your head, you want to leave it for approximately 3 to 5 minutes. And it's just it's really essentially an anti-inflammatory and kind of clearing out DHT locally in the area, which is good. And the positive note on it is it doesn't go systemically, so you're not gonna really experience any side effects whatsoever. It's not like systematically like affecting your system and inhibiting DHT production, and because I know there's a lot of worries. Oh my god, erectile dysfunction and fucking lower libido and all this shit like they say about like Propecia and Finasteride when intaking 5-alpha reductase inhibitors such as those things, or dutasteride in that case especially. So yeah, no, honestly, once again guys, I use another product by Intelligent, ketoconazole shampoo that they have. I think it's like 1 to 2% ketoconazole. It's really good. The only thing is I wouldn't use this personally for me more than 2 times a week. I was using it every other day. I was fine for the first week. And then my scalp really started drying up, and I was like, oh shit. Like I've never had my scalp that dry before, because ketoconazole can tend to have that occurrence. So I guess it's all situational. You got to feel it out. You got to see how many times you could get away with using it, or how many times you want to use it. Now it does say the recommended use and the amount you want to use it for best results is 3 to 4 times approximately. Personally, I feel like my scalp just dries up too much with that. So I'm probably going to start off with 2. If I'm good, I'll bump it up to 3. If I'm good with that, maybe I'll go to 4 again. But I was at 4, doing it every other day, and it was just too much. So I'm going to do 2 to 3 and see how that feels. And then also, as well as using the conditioner. And the conditioner is extremely rich in nutrients. I mean, this shit has like saw palmetto. I'm not going to lie, when I apply it on my fucking scalp after the shampoo, I just feel like what Head and Shoulders feels on steroids. Like I just feel it like fucking penetrating and like just neutralizing my follicles in a positive way, fucking like just fueling them with like hydration. It feels good. I'm not gonna lie. So once again, if you want to get, minoxidil or the shampoos from Intelligent, I'm gonna link it once again down below in the description. Code D is for 10% off. And they also have other things like, dermal rolling devices and skincare products, colognes. So definitely go check them out, because guys, we got to better ourselves every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Last thing I currently do for the father of all hair loss protocols here, in terms of mine specifically, is I take Finasteride. I take fucking Finasteride, bro. Finasteride is a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. It inhibits the production of DHT, which is the primary cause of hair loss, because DHT is 5 times more androgenic than any other androgenic hormone that you have in your body. And androgens is the essential cause for hair loss to begin with, because especially, in most cases, most men experience hair loss. Some don't, which are fucking genetic phenoms and are just lucky in this case scenario. But for the most part, every man has a certain level of androgenic sensitivity in their scalp. So sometimes, when the DHT binds with the receptors in your scalp, it damages your hairs. It damages the follicles, and it starts in 2 phases, okay, that I believe at least, or that I know of as far as I know so far from the research and everything I've looked into, is it starts off by miniaturizing the follicles, such in my case, where the hairs are still there. So you have the terminal hairs, and then you have vellus hairs. Terminal hairs are the hairs like this. They're thick, they're long, they're full looking. In my case, they're thick, they're black, they're full looking, healthy. And then the vellus hairs are in this area, for example, where the hairs are still there, the follicles are still there, but they're miniaturized, they're weaker because they're getting damaged by DHT production. I'm gonna confidently sit here and say that I feel fine on Finasteride. I feel really fucking good. I'll get really way more into detail and descriptive detail if I ever experience any side effects, or if anything ever occurred at one point and then went away, or I never had anything to begin with in my 3-month Finasteride transformation, because I want to save that all for that. But I can confidently sit here and say that I feel pretty good. And if you really look at the data overall, side effect possibilities are not that fucking high. And unfortunately, I got fear-mongered like a motherfucker about Finasteride. And the worst case scenario was not even before taking it. It was my first day taking it, when I started reading into all these like Reddit forums about, oh my god, I took Finasteride, I took Propecia for a couple months, or I took it for a week and 2 weeks, and my fucking dick is never the same. I can't get hard anymore. I don't even have desire to like women anymore. Like crazy fucking shit. And I'm like, oh my god, like, bro, what the fuck is going on? This is crazy, bro. Like, holy shit, dude, this is actually insanity, And it fear mongers people to get away, but then you really look at it, and there's millions of people who take things such as Finasteride or Propecia, which is like the same shit as Finasteride. It's just Finasteride is a generic brand of Propecia. Propecia is the name brand drug. Or things like dutasteride, which is just extremely fucking strong. And you really look at the chances and possibilities of side effects, and it's really not likely. It's pretty unlikely. You do need to get a prescription for Finasteride, so that's one thing. It's a prescription that is needed by a doctor. And yeah, so it's essentially, by the time my hair grows back to what it was, I should see a noticeable difference to really judge and say, okay, this is what's going on, you know? But I'm pretty confident, you know? It's not like my shit was really bad to begin with. It was getting bad enough to the point where I was like, oh, fuck, like, I don't want to look like this permanently, you know? But thankfully that was because of the Finasteride and that shedding phase that you go through. So I'm chill on that, you know? I'm chill on that. But all I can say, guys, is once you notice something, just start it. Start on your shit, because you never know if you, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to lose my hair. I'm in my early 20s. I'm 22, so that's another thing. So just make sure you guys start, and in a lot of cases, a lot of people start before they even notice anything, just to not have to go through the catch-up phase. Like in my case, it's a very minor catch-up, but playing catch-up, you know, you're kind of stopping the process of miniaturization and hair loss, but now you're also trying to like regrow hair and thicken hair. And it's fucking pain in the ass. It is stressful. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's your boy Kevin Diaz from Crew Aesthetics, and I just dropped my fucking minoxidil. To getting more stronger, thicker, fuller looking hair, to look like a fucking model, and to look like Brad Pitt up in this bitch, okay? Peace.